Pluto, moon, this is a major thing that's happening around March 24th. We're seeing maybe a roofs. This is something that makes the news. When you've got retrograding planets, it just changes that magnetic field. I mean, my God, this is a lot of planets, but that represents a lot of events. It also represents a lot of people. In Aquarius, it's an air sign, so we're going to be seeing maybe some gusty winds. Pisces representing bed. Could be people sleeping. You'll see. You will see. Welcome, everyone. It's Val Evans, and it is Sunday, June 1st. We're looking ahead in the summertime for the monster storm. Is there going to be one? And we're also going to look into history as well. First thing that I like to do when I'm thinking about the weather, I think about Mercury and the signs representing Mercury. We'll keep it simple first, and we'll start with Mercury retrograde. Mercury shade starts actually June 30th. So we're going to start seeing things whip up. I always notice during Mercury retrograde and grade that the weather feels a little funky. There's always some kind of wind event. And my theory is the magnets of Mercury are shifting. We're talking about March 14th last time, and there were some serious tornadoes that came in. I believe it was March 13th to March 16th. So right around this time we knew. And we always see Black Moon Lilith in the mix when there's something pretty bad. And these were really bad tornadoes that came in through the Midwest. This is 1925. I'm going to look at this event. This is the biggest tornado in U.S. history. And what I do is I go to the USA and then I look at the moon calendar for that year. And we see when there is some kind of a lunation that might conjunct a major planet. And this was pretty shocking. That would happen this year in 1925. Uranus, of course, represents Aquarius and is an air sign. So we see air in the mix in a number of different types of weather events, be it hurricanes or tornadoes, dust storms in general. So this was the monster tornado, March 18th, 1925, across 219 miles. It took 3 hours for it to pass through. 700 people were killed. This was starting shade, I believe. Now, April 8th was when Mercury was actually, April 8th, 2025, I mean 1925. April 8th would have been when Mercury would go retrograde that year. So something to keep in mind that Mercury was starting to move at this point. And of course, what do we see? We see it way at the top of the chart. When Mercury is in a conjunction, if it's an elevated planet, if it is in a square with an outer planet, there's a bunch of different combinations. But Mercury happened to be in Aries. And Aries represents, even though tornadoes are a combination of wind and different airstreams, crashing into each other. Aries represents a lot of metal. So that's what we're going to be seeing as these storms pass through. So Mercury would be in a T square. A couple of signatures in this chart. First of all, Mars was at 26 degrees, the Algol degree. By the way, they talk a lot about this storm when they're talking about tornadoes. They're like, will we ever see a tornado this massive, this big? And really, when you see these signatures, you'll see that they all happen together. It was really the perfect storm of really evil. It was the evil storm. So 26 degrees, Taurus, Algol. So this is the devil point, the devilish weather event. We also have Mars square Neptune in Leo. So this is the big bully. This is Neptune. Nobody knows where it's going. There's no clear path. And of course, people are going to call it the monster storm. But North Node is going to be that enhancer planet. So North Node conjunct Neptune is massive, a massive monster, or as they often call these weather events, beasts. This would be a beast. Always look for a planet in Aquarius. And we certainly have a big one right now. We've got Pluto in Aquarius for quite a while. So we're going to be seeing a lot of wind events. And this south node would be connecting with Mercury. So Mercury, the weather that day would have some type of Aquarian windy characteristic. Then we also had Black Moon Lilith conjunct Pluto. So we're talking Black Moon Lilith is evil, devil, mean, nasty, nasty. And then conjunct Pluto is times a million with a trine to Saturn, which would mean, well, Saturn is remains. Trining Pluto, this would be a lot of bodies. Also, with that Cancer, we always see either Cancer or we'll see Taurus because Taurus is the trees. We'll see lots of trees. Pluto is many, many. And then Cancer is houses. So we would see many, many houses. We seem to see, and this is another thing I look at. It's kind of like the second thing I look at when I look at dates for storms. I look at Mercury first, and I'll also look at the signs of Mercury. So Virgo and Gemini, see if there's some planets in there. Usually with like a stellium in Virgo or Gemini, there's going to be some kind of weather event if it's in the square. But with Jupiter and the moon, this is the signature of famous. So this would be a famous storm. So you could either have Jupiter and moon or Pluto and moon, and you would get fame. So that's another indicator I look at. What's going to be famous? I got a couple of dates I am going to swing by you, and we're going to have to see. Hello, Gibson from Cincinnati, and hello, Nikki from Cleveland, Ohio. And greetings, Pernille Wolf Jensen from Denmark. So this is July 8th. I like to look at the dates too. A lot of times we'll get like, look at this one. We got March 18th. So 18th is also the devil number. So I look at 8, 18, 22. I just focus on that with weather events. So I've got July 8th here. And I think this is possibly an important date. We got the last date. We got a couple of dates last time. So let's try it again. Uranus, super strong. It is in a Mercury zodiac sign, Gemini. So there could be 2 or more. This could be seen as potentially a twin of another storm. And we also have, I put this together here, it is a stellium of planets with Pluto. Uranus is the wind too. So we've got lots and lots of wind because of Pluto there. Got Aries. We've got 2 planets conjunct in Aries. This is super, super strong. And I wonder if it means, because Saturn is so slow, if this could mean a slow moving tornado. We're getting into hurricane season here. So we're going to start seeing, of course, your typical hurricanes. And Aquarius also is going to show winds whipping around, probably in the typical places, in the Gulf, in the Caribbean. This storm, if it's a hurricane, it could be a female storm. And it could be the twin of someone else's, like I said. But let's take a look at Aries here with that slow moving air, maybe a slow tornado. So let's look at the cards and see if we can get any more clues as to why July 8th might be an important day. You've got 2 planets in Cancer, so lots of homes. And oh, this is the biggest one. We've got Black Moon Lilith, the nasty point, and we've got it in a T-square with a retrograding Mercury. This is something to think about here. And it's within 3 degrees of Leo at 15, which can often show difficult things, difficult events. It's not one of the best points of the zodiac. So we've got Mercury, and it is being opposed by this energy in Aquarius and Capricorn. It's being shaken up and in a very nasty way. Give us an idea. Is this a tornado we're talking about on or around July 8th that could be seen as kind of a monster storm? Queen of Wands, and I got that reversed. So maybe storm, it might be a no because of the opposition there. Could this be a hurricane? Are we looking on or around July 8th? Are we looking at a hurricane? No, unless I'm looking at maybe a celebration is canceled. Hmm. Well, it certainly looks like something during a party of some sort. People are celebrating, and this looks like it's pretty nasty, actually. Uh, I mean, with all that Aquarius and Mercury, people's minds go a little nutty. This could be some kind of a bomb. Are we talking about maybe a bomb at an event? I mean, I'm on here talking about weather. Is it a bomb? People can't move. So it's in a place where everybody's stuck. It might be on like a high, like a mountain, um, maybe a high place, kind of like the North Carolina situation, hurricane through North Carolina. Um, is this um, is this a monster weather event? Let's see what we get. July 8th. Ace of Cups. It looks like it. And the heart's in the middle of there. So it is a Leo type of thing. But also with Aries, we're talking heat, lots of heat. I bet you know what this is? I wonder if this has to do with some kind of an outage where there might be a heat wave in it, and it's very, very difficult for people. So that's a possibility. Are we talking about a power outage on or around July 8th? Chariot. So yeah, maybe something transportation related. Chariot is also Mercury too. So I think we are getting close to something there, July 8th. But it certainly seems like things are in the mix with all of that Aquarius energy opposing Mercury. It's not perfect because we've got Mercury still hasn't gone retrograde at this point, but it is in shade and something we like to look at. Okay, there it is. The T square. The T square with Black Moon Lilith. And interesting how I just happen to have it in the third house of transportation. So, yeah, there could be July 8th, could be some kind of major event in the US. I mean, we're talking about the US tonight that has to do with transportation, maybe some type of outage or a shock, maybe a bomb. I hope not. Now, here's July 18th. I picked this one because we have so much in Aries here. We've got 4 points. This is a lot of heat, also a lot of metal, and represents, it can also represent a volcano too, because anything really that's hot. But I like to look at Aries as tornadoes and check out how, oops, sorry, this one. Um, check out, there's the Aries. Check out how Pluto at 2 degrees is squaring the moon at this point and Chiron. That's another thing I look at when I see Chiron moving into a place where it's connecting with Pluto or Jupiter. That's a lot of people with a lot of wounds and can happen after maybe a major event like a tornado. Also, of course, you're seeing a lot of homes here, a lot of homes, and it's in Cancer, it's squaring whatever this is. This looks like with Jupiter in Cancer, that's lots, and in homes. And of course, we've got that trine with Black Moon Lilith down there. Are we talking about a major event on or around July 18th? Let's just keep it simple. Knight of Swords. So running away. Running to your vehicles. Yeah, I think this could be a tornado or a group of tornadoes on July 18th, 2025. Thanks, Angel. Yeah, maybe electric cars can't charge. Seriously, because of Mercury retrograde. Let's talk about July 18th, 2025. Mercury still has not gone fully retrograde. It's in shade here, but it's at 15 degrees Not a very nice point. And it's squaring Black Moon Lilith. When Mercury is in Leo, we are going to be hearing about beasts and monster storms, especially squaring Black Moon Lilith. This is like the revenge of the storm because of Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio there. Are we talking about a big hurricane or a big storm system that's coming in on or around July 18th? Two of Cups. Could be two storms. Will this be a particularly harsh storm on or around July 18th? Five of Pentacles reversed. So there will be recovery. It's going to be hard because storms are a big deal right now. It's like FEMA is broken, it seems, and everybody's scratching their heads wondering, what's this season going to be like with the trouble over at FEMA? People being let go, people quitting. It looks like a mess over there. So I'm going to use one more card for this. Does this have to do with, I think it might have to do with Tornado Alley. Is this does this have something to do with Tornado Alley, July 18th? The star reversed. So if that's a no, where else would there be a tornado? It looks maybe on the East Coast. Will there be tornadoes closer to the east? Page of Swords. So much Aries. I want to say that has to do with maybe a peak of some sort. Let's go back to, actually, I want to use the other cards here. Can you give me a profile of the location of where these potential tornadoes could be going? Got the Chariot again. That's kind of crazy. So something that has to do with a lot of transportation. So maybe there's going to be some type of, I don't know, some type of impact with something that has to do with transportation. That one looks pretty nasty. Just so much Aries. It was mostly the Chiron squaring Pluto and also squaring the sun. So we don't like Chiron in a square. We don't like that. It means wounds. People are wounded. All right. The next one I have is April 8th. April 8th, and there's going to be storms between these dates. I mean, I can't pick all of them. This is another one that I thought was interesting. Now, one of the things that I looked at was the moon for the USA chart. And August 9th, the full moon is in Aquarius, and it's a little bit close to the south node, little bit, not perfect, which might make it makes me think that it would be earlier than August 9th. This looks particularly harsh because we've got oppositions here with the nodes. Okay, so ouchie. People are stuck. Things are stuck. It's in a T square. Got Saturn in the mix there. So things that can't get out of the way. It's like everything is stuck. Also, Mercury at this point is retrograde, and this is pretty bad. This is as bad as it gets, I think, because of the opposition with Pluto and the moon. This is something that could be very, very famous. A famous storm, a famous monster. This trine here with Uranus, which is the air, and Mars in an air sign. This a lot of wind, a lot of wind. I think it's a hurricane. Is this August 8th date? And by the way, we're going to have some earthquakes. We're going to have lots of earthquakes, I think, in the next 6 to 9 months. I'm not even talking about those. Can you give us a profile of what we're seeing on or around August 8th in the USA for the weather? The sun. So could that mean the heat? So there's a lot of heat. Can you give us a clarifier on what we're seeing as far as a weather event August 8th? Sure looks like a lot of Pisces. There's a lot of water. A lot of women too, a lot of homes, a lot of women, Jupiter's lots. And I'll show you Jupiter's lots at the top there. Venus is women, lots of money too. And this trine here, this grand trine. But mostly I am looking, oh gosh, we've got a bunch of trines. Grand trine here too. This is super, super famous. Now, of course, this is a sky chart, so this could be other things that are happening in mundane astrology. If there's got to be some kind of weather element because of that Mercury and opposing Pluto within a couple of degrees, and then plus Pluto conjunct the moon is fame. So, can you give us another clarifier on the profile of this storm, possibly on August 8th? Leo. So could be the twin of Katrina, could be in the French Quarter, Leo types of things up on a hill, could be Hollywood Hills again. We hope not. Yeah, that's right. Tornado Alley's Midwestern states. Is this a Midwestern storm? And on August 8th, ooh, it's going to be a hot one. Is this Midwestern? The Hanged Man. Looks like a yes. Okay, so I think it could be a tornado. Your Tornado Alley is shifting further south now. Yes. Thank you, Angel. According to Google, Aries states are Florida and Massachusetts, Boston particularly, right? Because Aries means spots. So, of course, duh. And then Florida. Florida, and then also some Pisces because by the beach. I also think that there could be, I want to ask about Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale has some Aquarian planets, and we're going to be with Pluto. There's going to be a lot of squares with Pluto, especially around July and August. Are we looking at a big monster storm with Fort Lauderdale this summer, 2025? Looks like just a loss of money. Clarifier card on a big storm affecting Fort Lauderdale. Hanged Man again, but no. So I got 2 no's on that. Okay. So don't worry about that, Fort Lauderdale, even though the charts would suggest that there's some type of event that's going to happen in the summer. So we'll see. We'll have to see what that is. All right. All right, and so there it is. Now, this is the Joplin, Missouri tornado that I talked about last time. It's a big monster. Look at that Aries. That was in 2011. So Uranus plowing through Aries there. This is whipping up, basically really cutting too the metal. And so Aries is fast too. So you don't necessarily have to look at Aries as metal. You can just look at it as an adjective, fast. And what is Uranus? Wind. So fast wind. With Neptune, it would be fast because that's what Neptune is just moving into Aries. It would mean fast water. Okay. And then, of course, with the F5 tornado, we had the T square with Uranus conjunct Black Moon Lilith. So this is fast, basically fast wind, but very mean, nasty, and evil. So many people died. Very, very sad that I don't know if anybody caught that Joplin, Missouri tornado. It's called I think it's called Tornado on Netflix. So I'm going to go back here and look at this one. So we've got, let's say we look at Aries as the word fast. This is fast. Neptune is could be glass. Sometimes, like you saw Uranus, Neptune with September 11th, so much glass. But with Neptune, fast water, but Saturn would be cold. Um, I wonder if there might be some. This is kind of crazy because we got the sun. We know it's going to be super hot, but with Saturn there, and at this point in August, it's going to be retrograde. So that's going to be another. That'll be another weather event too when Saturn goes retrograde. So something to think about. That's in July. Hmm. And when Mercury and Jupiter are both retrograde, that's going to also kick off some storms. But Saturn often means cold and snow. I wonder if will there be any type of random hail events because of Saturn and Neptune? Uh, King of Wands. I keep getting nose, but it looks like the king falls. So maybe something that has to do with heat. Um, Marie said there will be a flash flooding in the southwest New Mexico. Okay. Buckeye said U.S. state can get tornadoes, but frequently differs widely. Okay. Broken blue blood. I've been getting wild stuff popping up in way unusual places this year for some reason. Yes. Broken blue blood says anything pointing to hurricane around Nova Scotia, Newfoundland. I keep dreaming about one. All right. So we're going to talk about Nova Scotia and a hurricane. It's possible. You can always get a hurricane up there. Let's use Amber's cards. We could also look at the solar return chart too for Nova Scotia. Is there going to be a hurricane near Nova Scotia in the coming months in 2025? The moon. Never seen so many no cards. Although the moon can show homes. Let me get a clarifier card for that. Seven of Cups. So I don't see anything from here. Let me see if I can get a Nova Scotia chart. Birth chart. Okay. So I'll get the Astro theme one. And it looks like, if you can see this, nope, hold on. Okay, there we go. So I don't know why Julia's up there, but oh, that's just an ad. But it looks like okay, so this is Halifax, July 2nd, 1749. Let me pop that in AstroSeek. And then we'll pull 1749. And we'll pull the solar return. 49. Halifax. And the time, 1:10 p.m. We actually have a time. Wow. 1:10. This is for Halifax, Nova Scotia. And I'm going to pull it's July 2nd. So I'm going to pull the 2025 chart, see what we get. And there it is. Yeah, who knows? Might as well look at it. Hey, Jen. Okay, Okay, broken blue blood. The area to your east out towards the islands around Tonga have been heavily active lately, sparking off the whole globe. Oh, yeah. We're going to see so many earthquakes this year. It's going to be crazy because Pluto is in an opposition, I believe, to Mercury in the USA chart. At least I know that for the USA. I know, I know. It was a terrible loss. Okay. So now we've got this solar return chart, and this is for Halifax. And let's see, we're going to look at some weather. Wow, we do have a T square here with the moon. We've got Aries here, but you're asking about a hurricane. We've got Venus within one degree of the devil degree Algol, and then we have Pluto opposite Mercury. So the same as the US, same as the US. This to me looks like there, with the opposition to Leo, lots of fires. Um, but let me try to add some aspects here, see what else we can get. We're talking about Halifax. There's a hurricane. Certainly seems like something because you've got a T square here and you've got the two planets, the sun and Jupiter in Cancer there. Yeah, I mean, the moon in Libra is the wind. This very well could be some type of a wind event. Um, and also with Aries, also weather because of Neptune. I like to look at Mercury. So Mercury is here and sextile the moon. I mean, with the moon in this big grand trine here too, with Aquarius and with Uranus. I definitely think there are going to be some windy days. That's for sure. Probably July, the moon's going to activate. Yeah, it could be between July, I would say early July. There's going to be some things. Why? Because that first house is going to be July 2nd to August 2nd. And then it's going to move into Leo. And then the sun's going to activate that T square. So, yeah, I mean, there could be different days where, I mean, that T square is activating no matter what in the first month, first solar return month um, for Halifax. So, yeah, you don't know much about tornadoes or what did you say, Angel? Oh, you keep having earthquakes. Yeah, and that's true. Hail comes with tornadoes. All right, yeah. So anyway, that's Halifax. That's pretty much all I have tonight. But we got a couple of dates down, and it'll be interesting to see what is formulating as Mercury moves. Well, Mercury's not going to move, but as Mercury goes retrograde, it is, whether it's the shade or not, the biggest hurricane or the biggest tornado that the U.S. has ever had happened during Mercury's shade. So don't ask me. It's something that happens with those magnets. And so I'm going to be watching, and we'll also talk about hurricanes again and earthquakes coming up. So hope you can join me tomorrow. We're talking about Putin, and stay tuned for some more shows this week. So have a good one.